When I separated, and we were thinking of putting Ariana to a school, my daughter, and her father said that it'll be this school, and I said no, I want to try out something else. These are the kind of schools that I've been to, the convents. Let's try out these kind of schools. And he was like, no, okay, there's that. And then we had a long conversation, and then he was like, yeah, okay, let's try it. I said, if it's not good, we can always pull her out and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, this is when, you're having issues and you're not agreeing on anything. And this happened to be another thing that we were not agreeing on. And so he says like, oh, okay, we'll go for it. And then I go for it, and a night before he's leaving for his European tour, suddenly he changes his mind again, and he says, no, I've decided that she's not going, and she's going to this school that I went to. I was like, no, she's not. He's saying, okay, I'm not going to sign for it. I'm like, don't sign. And he left for his trip abroad, and it was a 14-day trip. And I went back to the school, and I remember discussing with my friends that night, and they said, have you decided on the school? And I said, yeah, this one. And they said, oh, very good, you're putting that school. I said, yeah. He was saying this one, and I said no, and he said he's not going to sign. He's not going to sign, so big deal. But I go to the school, and I give them the form, and they looked at it, and they said, oh, the father hasn't signed. And I said, he's out of town, so he'll be back in like 4 days. Oh, when he's back, can we have him in here so that he signs? It's like, wow, I didn't know this. So I called my lawyer, and I said, I'm in this situation where guns are drawn on which school, and I just faced this situation. And he says, actually, you're right. The father's signature is very important on an admission form. Did you know this? They said it is. If you are married, he's the guardian. If you were not married, the mother is the guardian.
Oh, by then the divorce had not come through.
No, we were still together.
Yeah.
But we were just having differences on everything. And I was like, who needs your signature? I'm going to put it in there. But this is there. He says, if you are married, he's the guardian. And if you're not married, the mother is the guardian.
Okay.
So I was like, damn. He says, anyway, give me some time. So then he comes back and he says, you know what? You're in luck. The right to education bill just got passed. So if the school has accepted your form and given her the admission, they can't throw her out because of the father's signature. So it was that saved me.
When did you realize that these are the first signs that, my marriage is not really
No,
working?
These were not the first signs for sure, but there were lots of other signs. And then you obviously don't, you don't tell your parents, you don't tell your people, because you feel, oh, this was one issue, and then you stay back, and then one more issue, and then you stay back. And then I was also expecting another child, and then I was like, I had a miscarriage, and then I had another miscarriage, and it was all because of, you not being happy in that space. And every time I wanted to go out and do an event or go out and do a show, I used to come drop my child at my mother's home. And then I stay back 2 days, and I used to feel I'm so much more comfortable here. And what happens is, earlier it used to be like, oh, inka divorce ho gaya times. But now the times are where people are very supportive if you are not happy. In fact,
it's not a taboo term anymore.
Yeah, in fact, it's the reverse. If you're uncomfortable, you make your family uncomfortable, because they don't know how to treat you when they come. They know inka jhagda chal raha hai, hello bete, and all. And even your friends, and even the society. And then you can't do, oh, happy new year to my darling, and happy anniversary, and people are like, oh, really? People snigger at couples like that who are putting on an act. They are much more comfortable when you come out and tell them that this is not working out. Your family is finally more comfortable. So my mother was finally more comfortable when I came and told her. She says, I saw you struggling. I saw you go up and down. And why are you beating yourself up if it's not? Stay here for a while and see. Does it make you feel better? Because he'll come back and say that, okay, I'm going to do this, and it's going to be different. And then it wasn't. And then she says, don't beat yourself up. And they were all supportive. My sister was supportive, and everybody was supportive. And then I just thought this is a better place for my child to grow up, and kids grow up better with grandparents anyway.
I do agree.
And we think that the kids are not well equipped for this, but now I meet my friends and they tell me that, my kids who are now 16, 17, they say, Mama and Papa, don't suffer each other because of us. We are fine. I mean, we've known since we were 7 years
Yeah,
old.
a lot
don't
of
get along.
divorces, I think, a lot of people don't really get out of a troubled marriage because of their kids.
They say that, but today
Yeah.
the kids are like, don't suffer each other because of us. You know?
Like you said, if you want to address it, because you addressed something that not many public figures have addressed. You said that you suffered miscarriages.
Yeah.
During a troubled marriage, that is the time when you need your partner to stand
Yeah.
by you.
Yeah.
Did you have your partner?
No. And I thought sometimes people can be very insensitive. And one of my favorite movies is, The War of the Roses, where they're so in love and they buy this home and they do it up, and at the end of the day he's like cutting her high heels and she's banging into his stuff, and it gets to that.
Yeah.
That's why the person you say you can't live without, then you're like, I can live with anyone but this person. And you can be lonely in a marriage when you feel very alone, because you can't speak to your family, you can't speak to your friends, you haven't started sharing, and it's difficult with the person that you are living with. It can get very, very lonely. And then when I came back to Mum's house and I started living there, it was lovely. And just then my mum gets detected with Parkinson's, and she was just having falls. And it would happen on a day when I would fly out to do an event, and they say, my staff used to call and say, "Mummy gir gayi." And then I asked her, and then one day she's a very strong lady, and she was helping me through this whole thing, and like, we'll get ahead of this together. I'll take care of your child. You go out to work. And then suddenly she sat on the bed and she says, "No, it's something different. I'm not tripping. I'm just freezing."